Well, hello there, YouTube. Jack checking in on yet another episode of Jack's Low Carb Journey. We're going through this together as I try to slim my big ass down to a narrow ass. And we are on day 24 today. Checked in with you yesterday at about 231.8. Checking in with you today at 230.8. Like I said, I go through this little bitty drop and then like a pound. Over about 4 or 5 days. It's kind of weird, but it's just a little bit comes in. Nothing, a little bit, boom, a pound. And then nothing, a little bit, boom, a pound. Just like that over 4 to 5 days. And I'll take it, man. As long as there's at least a pound coming off every about 5 days, I am ahead of my plan, honestly, at this point. Right now, I'm let's call it 231, rounding up. And on plan, I should have hit 231 on the 30th day or September the 10th. We're sitting here on the 4th, so I'm 6 days ahead of plan. So I'm stoked about what did I eat yesterday. It might sound a little repetitive, but it's because the night before I had this huge ribeye steak that I bought. I mean, just this massive ribeye steak, and it's expensive, but is it expensive if you get 3 meals out of it? So yesterday, I took about 3 or 4 ounces of that beautifully marbled, fatty ribeye that was just, I actually cooked it even a little less than I like it, a really, really red, because I knew I wasn't going to eat it all. So I took about 4 ounces of it and cut it into thin strips and made myself a small salad, about 2 cups of greens, 4 or 5 cherry tomatoes cut up, some blue cheese crumbles, and some chopped pecans. Fried up 2 pieces of bacon and 2 over easy duck eggs. Duck eggs from my backyard, from my own personal ducks, non-GMO fed. I mean, this is just the highest. When we were selling our eggs, we were selling them for $8 a dozen. We used to have like 150 ducks. Now we have like 12. But we used to have like 150. We had restaurants that were on waiting lists to get to buy our eggs. So really premium quality there. And I just took the few ounces of sliced up ribeye, and I had the cast iron griddle for cooking the eggs, killed the heat because I didn't want to overcook them, and just threw them on there just to let them warm through. And I put a picture of that in my evening meal on Facebook. I'll put links in the notes today so you can see what I'm talking about. I have people say, you've won food for the week looking at that plate of food. And it was about 900 calorie plate, right? That's a lot of calories, but I need to keep my calories to about 1,700 a day. I know people say calories don't count, but they do if you're stupid. And then my evening meal, like I said, it might start to sound redundant. It was lower calorie. It was about 750, 800. So that's keeping me well where I need to be at a 25% deficit, which keeps me on plan. And I am not hungry. And I basically made another salad. This one was like 4 cups of the greens. My wife went out and bought these really big salad bowls because normal salad bowls, I'm just going to tell you this, like you get into keto, just go out and buy a salad bowl that's designed to be a small salad bowl that you sit in the center of your table for 4 people. Buy one for every member of the family that's on keto as an eating bowl so that you can actually have a salad that you can fit in your bowl and eat without everything falling all over the place. So threw some in there, added some tomatoes, a tablespoon of roasted pumpkin seeds, some sharp cheddar, cherry tomatoes, a little bit of cucumber. I try not to overdo the cucumber and tomatoes. No peppers in this. I did peppers for the breakfast. No peppers this time around. Sliced up the meat, did the same thing, warmed it through. But then I was like, I know you love your blue cheese, Jack, but you can't eat the same thing or you get bored with it. So I made myself a blackberry balsamic dressing, which was a little bit of blackberry balsamic because you don't need a lot of it. And there is a little sugar in there, so you got to be careful. Really good quality olive oil, and then just a drip of mustard. And if you try that, what you'll find is that instead of ending up with oil and vinegar that separate, you end up with what's called an emulsion. That's what mayonnaise is, works for a different reason. But the oil and the vinegar come together. And what you can do to even make this a little more powerful, add a little bit of water. Put it in a ball jar. By that I mean a canning jar. Any kind of thing you can close up and it's not going to leak. Put it in there, mix it up, and shake the shit out of it. And it'll turn out to like a thick, almost creamy if you use a balsamic. If you use a regular vinegar, you're going to end up with something more akin to a typical dressing. But this, you're going to end up with like this thick drizzle. I drizzled that over it. If you look at the pictures of what I ate yesterday, when people say you deprive yourself on keto, I don't know what freaking planet they get their bullshit from. I mean, the steak salad I made for dinner probably would have cost you $20 in a restaurant. I had about $8 in it, and it was fantastic. Those two were my meals. No snacking, no cravings, no nothing yesterday. Bulletproof coffee in the morning. That's it. Now, let's talk about the pitfall today. I want to actually continue with what I talked about yesterday with people saying, I can't do it, I'm deprived or whatever. And I want to talk about it a little bit differently today from a psychological standpoint. I might look like a redneck hippie duck farmer, and I am, but I'm the world's worst nightmare, guys. I'm a freaking educated redneck, okay? So when we look at any lifestyle change, generally we're dealing with some level of the A word, and that is addiction. And people believe that addiction is a physical addiction. That it has to be physical or it's not really an addiction, especially when it comes to substances. I mean, we all know if somebody's like addicted to porn or something like that, it has to be psychological because there is nothing in the body. But generally when we think of alcohol, drugs, etc., and we use the word addiction, people focus on the physical addiction, i.e. An alcoholic that has a true physical addiction may go through something called the DTs, which are tremors and can actually be life-threatening if they don't get alcohol. And they may need to actually go for medical assistance in coming off of alcohol. Now, not all alcoholics will do that, but that's a physical addiction. A heroin addict often will need medical assistance getting off of heroin, or the withdrawal itself can be life-threatening. Think about that before you condemn somebody and understand that may be what they need. Some people, yes, some people, no. But the other side of addiction is psychological. There is a craving that is mentally based, that I know how good this thing is, how it makes me feel good, or how it makes me not hurt, either emotionally, spiritually, whatever, for a time. That's the person, one dude, I can't think of his name now, LaFleur or something is his last name, big dude, muscle guy, lost like 80 pounds on keto, does a lot of seminars and stuff, said he used to go to fast food places and sit in his car where nobody could see him on the other side of town and eat 4 quarter-pounders. That's physical because, yeah, you get the cravings off you, but it's also psychological that I'm miserable, but this makes me feel a little bit better for a time, even though I'm ashamed. But psychological addiction goes even further than that when it becomes a self-identity. And what I mean by that, let's use beer because it's easier. It's beer and drinking. If somebody is known as a party animal, they go to the bar every Friday and Saturday night and they tear it up. And while they're doing it, not only do they feel good, but people like them. They're not a mean drunk. They're a happy drunk. And people talk about it and say, Tom's a freaking party animal. Man, I can't wait till Tom comes over. And all their friends and all their social interactions are based on that persona of them that is not their true selves. Then giving up alcohol, even if it's not a physical addiction, and even if they don't really sit around and go, man, I really want to drink. But giving up drinking, if it is creating a problem for them in their life, let's say they're starting to have physical problems because of all that partying, will be difficult even if they're not physically addicted, even if they're not like a first level psychologically addicted, because they now identify as Tom the party animal. To give up the drinking and to give up the lifestyle is to give up some level of connection with their friends and their family and their reputation, and it is the release of who they are. It is death to a persona they've built that they now see as themselves. How does that apply to keto? There are people that will say, I can't give up bread, and I can't give up fruit, and I can't give up this but I love bread, but I love fruit. And when somebody says that, what they're really saying, of course it tastes good. Let's put that on the shelf for a second. I'll come back to it. But what they're really saying is, my identity is the person that eats bread, the person that eats fruit, the person that eats cake. And if I let go of this, I let go of who I am. Okay, changing your life means letting go of the you that is doing negative things in your life. That's what it means. You do have to let that persona die. Now, how powerful is this? I'm guaranteeing you right now, there are people that sit on the outside looking in at the world of keto who their lab results suck, their cholesterol's through the roof, they're on all kinds of drugs, they're either pre-diabetic or type 2 diabetic. Their life is in a shambles. They're overweight, and they're not just overweight and saying, the bullshit, well, I'm still happy. No, they're like overweight and they're unhappy about it. They want their life to be better. And if you said, here's a pill, and if you take this pill once a day, you'll lose weight and you'll be Not even at your ideal weight. You'll lose whatever. This is your weight now. This is your ideal weight. Somewhere down here around the bottom third, you'll go right to there and you'll stay there. You can live however you want. They would take that pill. Well, duh. Of course they would, right? Who would? Okay. What if I gave you another pill? What if you're on the outside looking at keto and I gave you another pill and I said, this is what this will do. If you take this pill, you will be able to do keto. You will change and you will accept that these foods should not be consumed at all until you lose weight, and then only in extreme moderation as cheats for the rest of your life. And you will believe that and you will do it if I give you this pill. There are a lot of people that would claim that they want to lose weight. They would be deathly afraid of that pill. I know it sounds crazy, especially if you've already made the decision, because you already got past it. Understand, everybody walks their own walk. Everybody comes up against their own barriers. Everybody has their own fears. What that pill represents to them is letting go of this persona they've built for themselves. A person that is not a person. A person is the spirit, the intellectual component, and the spirit and the soul, however you want to define it, the intelligence, the consciousness that you are. What you project is whatever you've decided to project. But what happens is we take that projection and we grab onto it, and then we identify it as ourselves. And whether it's drugs or food or a lifestyle or whatever it is, we're then afraid to let go of that and let that persona we created out of thin air die so that we can do better for ourselves. I told you I was an educated redneck. Okay? That's it for today. I don't have any more for you than that. That's pretty damn deep, but it's the truth. So if you are thinking about it, but you won't do it, realize that may be your hang-up. And if you're doing it, but you're not doing it right, because we're going to talk more about this. People say, well, I'm doing keto and I hit a plateau and I can't. Bull. You're not doing it. You're doing part of it. And a lot of times, it's the part of it is a refusal to let go of that old self. If you want to renew what you are, some of the old has to go. It's up to you. I can't do it for you. Like I said, the only person who can do that for you is the guy in the mirror or the gal in the mirror. And remember, when you go look at that mirror, probably on the floor is a scale. You want the scale to be your friend or your enemy. Most Americans, it's their enemy. You want to make it your friend, do keto, and I'll catch up with you later. The dog's angry.